Welcome to the Wealth Nation podcast, a podcast for every mother, daughter, grandmother, sister, and wife, and the men who are smart enough to tune in. The Wealth Nation podcast brings you all you need to know about investments, business, property investments, personal finance, and all-around financial wellness. Here is your host, Yolanda Rose.
Welcome to another episode of the Wealth Nation podcast. I am Yolanda Hariprasad, Wealth Advisor, and thanks for joining me today. And we're talking about kids and money as we approach the winter break here in South Africa. And today I'm going to give you a couple of tips about how and why you should be teaching your children about financial literacy. And it's the foundation to economic success. The Wealth Nations podcast is sponsored by Solomon Wealth Management. Solomon Wealth Management is an innovative team of wealth managers that addresses the entirety of your life, your family, your business, your future, one facet at a time. We use our skill and expertise to the consideration of what you have accumulated, how best to administer it through life's changes, from financial counsel on managing your wealth to careful contemplation of how to transfer it to future generations. It's your vision combined with our skill and expertise to help you reach financial excellence. Reach out to Solomon Wealth Management at www.solomonwealth.co.za for a free wealth management consult. So if you're not already following us on social media, link up with us on our various platforms. It's Financially Fabulous Females on all of the major platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and also our brokerage page. It's a Solomon Wealth Management. And also, I would greatly appreciate it if you could leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. If you're listening, or whichever platform that you are listening to us right now, please leave an honest review. What do you thought? If there's any specific content you would like me to cover, you can mail me at yolanda@financiallyfabulousfemales.com. And if you're a parent, it is your goal to raise smart, intelligent kids, right? But it seems as though many parents, financial literacy seems to be coming out second, and it seems to be less important. And I'm not quite sure why that is. And for me, that's not the case. I am a wealth advisor. I head up my own brokerage. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3. And I believe that teaching my kids how to manage money is one of the most important responsibilities I have as a parent. We live in a consumer age. Delayed gratification seems to be something so far-fetched, and it's not easy to keep the kids financially grounded. However, by providing our kids with first-hand experience in earning, saving, and spending their own money, they're more likely to develop a savvy, sensible framework and a healthy attitude that is necessary to manage their personal finances as adults. And as much as, we talk about wealth accumulation, and most of us, we're building generational wealth. It's one of our goals on this platform to help you build generational wealth. But it's pointless us building this nice nest egg, houses, cars, investments, retirements, and leaving it to these kids that have no sense of financial literacy. What's the point? Financial literacy is the foundation of wealth building. It's about understanding the financial concepts, and specifically for us from a South African perspective, where we understand our financial climate, especially when it comes to things like taxes, estate, winding up of estates, managing debt with the various laws that we have in the country, saving, cash flow management, the various investment options, tax options, growth options that we have in the country. We need to know that.
Raising financially savvy children involves teaching them a variety of skills, from budgeting to planning to earning and saving. Besides giving them an understanding of the value of a rand, it prepares them for real-world finances. Financial literacy is a vital skill, and it is never too early to teach your kids about money. Many parents wonder how they can teach their kids about money and where to find age-appropriate resources. You can now purchase the Financial Literacy for Kids workbook, which is aimed at primary school kids. It's now available at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com. This workbook provides you with 12 lessons, activities, lesson plans, discussion points, and quizzes that you can use to test your kids' knowledge. Shop now at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Tuned In. Now back to the show.
Additionally, individuals who are financially literate display a keen understanding of the foundational elements of money, such as compound interest, the time value of money, the use of consumer credit, especially when it comes to leveraging credit in asset building, diversification, tax-preferred investment vehicles, consumer rights, and more. And as we see in our country, the call for free education is there. And many of the graduates are burdened by both the high student loan payments, the tough job market for graduates. I encourage parents to adopt a proactive approach to the problem by raising financially literate children. Now, financial education is a natural contributor to economic success. I am passionate about helping my kids understand the value of financial stewardship. I want my kids to be able to differentiate between needs and wants, and it's so amazing when I really started putting together a program to teach my kids about money. This was one of the very first lessons we spoke about: needs and wants and delayed gratification. And now the conversation takes its toll on its own. If they want something, they have a big debate before they come to me. And if they see something ridiculous, that kids want, totally overpriced, not age appropriate at all, and they would want this thing, and they'll ask for it, and then another one chips in, but is it a need or a want? And they have this whole debate. And eventually they don't even come to me. I mean, the conversation happens on the backseat of the car, but it never comes to me because they have this whole debate among themselves. Now, mind you, my kids are 7, 8, and 10. And at this age, they're debating among themselves whether it's a need or a want. And 80% of those times, those requests don't come to me because they settle it on their own. I hope this happens when they're older, when they're doing these ridiculous purchases. Do they really need iPhone 23? They can have that discussion for themselves, whether it's a need or want. But I want to teach my kids sound money management skills. And for the last 18 months, I have been doing it successfully. And I'm starting a refresher course when it comes to teaching them kids. And if it's something that you want for your kids, I want you to join me on my masterclass, How to Raise Financially Savvy Kids. So go to my website. It's www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/kids and sign up for that free masterclass on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of June. And I'm going to link that up in the show notes as well. So just click the link wherever you're listening to this podcast and sign up for that masterclass. I'm going to give you some ideas on how you can be teaching your kids about money. But let me just give you 3 tips while we're here about how you can be teaching your kids about money. The whole goal of financial literacy is to consider 3 money-saving strategies to help teach your kids how to manage their money. However little they get, whether it's from allowance or chores or whatever the case is, this will ideally suit your young children. 1, try and create a financial mission statement for your family. I mean, talk to them about it. Have these conversations around the dinner table. Get input from your spouse, the kids, and get a mission statement. Are we saving up for a vacation? If we're saving up for a vacation, should we be eating takeaways all the time or spending unnecessarily lavishly on items that allocated budget can go towards our vacations? Saving for university, or even all of those kind of goals. Have an open conversation with your family. Encourage them to think about the meaning of money and challenge them to earn it and the importance of saving for what they really value. 2nd, take the opportunity in your daily activities to model how you can make spending decisions. By discussing money-making decisions as you shop cook or pay the bills. You provide concrete examples that your children can model. The kids are watching us, and they learn more from our behavior, from on how we react and how we behave, than what we actually say. And if you're a parent, that's so true. Plus, taking kids out to the store, I know it's kind of difficult now with lockdown, but helping you prepare the meals, know what each item costs, like pricing your meals and things like that. So it allows them to apply some critical thinking, apply the math skills in the real world. If you are following us on social media, most of the graphics that is posted on our social media, most of that comes from my 10-year-old. She designs for my business. She's an employee in my business. She gets paid as a graphic designer, and that's how she manages her money. She'll keep a portion for her spending, or when we go out, she likes an ice cream or whatever snack it is, and the balance goes into her bank account, and with that, it's investments. She's 10. Okay, so it's the small things, guys. It's the small things that we need to be consistently doing and reinforcing with our kids to help them become better stewards of money. The value of money is not the only thing my daughter is deriving from a work experience. I mean, every child needs to have that work experience, more especially teenagers. I'm just happy that my kids have an opportunity to work in my business. Not everybody has their own business, but as soon as the child is independent enough to be able to work, they should be doing it. Even better if it's their own business. So by kids, experiencing firsthand the ability to earn, save, and spend their own money, that's a great foundation, because it's all happening in the safety net in your home. Allowances are great as long as the kid actually does the chores to earn the cash. So be sure to set up a savings account for them early and consider allowing them to manage that as well, especially with the older kids, internet banking and all of that. It can be done. And by the time they're teenagers, that habit, the habitual saving has already been established. And they can see that little nest egg grow in their bank accounts. By the time they head off to university, they're more be likely to take these healthy money habits with them and deploy them in those tough student years. And you know how tough that can be. I think one of the hardest parts of giving children control over their own money is to make sure that they can make mistakes as well. There's going to be times that they overspend, and that suffering is part of the learning process. When they overspend and they know that they can't have money for the next trip out, or for the next snack, or for the next pair of shoes, they need to go through that. We can't be bailing them out over time. And it's great to have these kids learn these lessons in the safety net of your home as well. Because when that disappointment comes, and when, you learn with suffering. We're doing Bible study at home, and we're studying the book of James, and the book of James says that your suffering builds patience, it builds perseverance. And if your kids can go through that with money in your home, it's lessons that if they learn outside the home, that's where the real struggle happens. So if they're short with money outside the home, where they're going? Loan sharks, micro lenders, banks, high interest credit. Whereas if they learn the lessons in your home, they can start managing money for their big purchases. And it just gets more expanded as they get older. So I really hope that you consider raising your own financially savvy children, and be sure to sign up for that masterclass, Financially Fabulous Females /kids. Sign up. And I'll give you a couple of more ideas in our masterclass in a couple of weeks' time. So that's it for me on this episode of the Wealth Nation podcast. I will chat to you soon.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to visit our website at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com and sign up for our free investment masterclass.